out of me. I'm kind of, like, annoyed and everything, especially since, like, I just Googled, non-binary killed in school and everything. They're like, it says officially, the official statements, the death of a non-binary student the day after a fight inside an Oklahoma high school restroom has been ruled a suicide. That sounds BS. Believes that non-binary teen didn't die of school fight injuries. But they were still beaten up enough that they would try and commit suicide, so they were still murdered. Wow, they didn't pull the goddamn trigger, but they beat the fucking shit out of them, and they hurt them physically. And let me guess, probably nothing's gonna ever happen to the students. Yeah, I don't believe it. Yep. Next, Benedict, 16-year-old non-binary student. Sustained energies and tragically died February 8th, 2024. Death after in-school fight, not result of trauma. It sounds total BS after investigation. They probably just don't want to hurt him because, like, society and everything, they're like, oh, you should be scared, and they're predators, non-binary and trans people are predators, and they're evil people, so they're not to say shit, and the students obviously didn't do shit, and you're like, oh, it's not going to be just one student causing the fight, it's obviously more of that. This is going to be about military, but I think I'm going to go on a rant. It's probably going to be something else. It was a plan anyway to be about, the gay agenda, but we're gonna get this out of the way first. Okay, wait, no, let's start with the gay agenda. Okay, so, yeah, okay, they're more gay, and, like, oh my god, everyone's trying to make you gay on the internet, everyone's gonna be talking about gay stuff, everyone's talking about trans stuff, oh my god. Like, you know, no one's trying to make you gay, no one's trying to make you trans, no one's telling you that you're bisexual, that you are trans, that you are gay, no one's telling you that you have ADHD, that you have all these mental problems. No one's telling you this. They're just saying, hey, some people are different, and some people have different issues, and maybe I'm one of these people, and hey, this is my experience, and this is what I learned, and this is what new, and if this sounds a little bit like you, then maybe this is you, maybe you're a little bit weird and different, this might be it, maybe this helps you feel relaxed, maybe this is something that helps you, maybe something you identify with. Like, this is an option. Not everyone's identical, not everyone's the same. You're taught that only cis and straight people exist in the world, and that's simply just not true. That's not how the world works. Not everyone's simply healthy. Not everyone wasn't abused. There are people who have issues. Not everyone's brain works the same way. There are people with disabilities. Wow, you've only, in your small community, you've never seen anyone who's black, never seen anyone who's Asian, never seen anyone who's fucking trans, never seen a Mexican before? Well, they exist. They exist, they're people, they're real people, they shouldn't be hurt, and they shouldn't be treated any different, they're just another person, they're just not you. Wow. Not everyone's identical, not everyone's the same, they can be different. That's all they're trying to say. They're trying to be like, hey, we're different, and that's okay to be different, you don't have to be identical, you don't have to all be the same. I'm mad about this. Okay, but yeah. So, yeah, there's no, like, gay agenda or whatever. We're just trying to be healthy and trying to net people to not fucking try and kill us. Okay, because there's, like, a lot of... Okay, let's look. How many... Poll... Trying to look up data. See what it says. You're like, oh, fatal violence against trans community and gender expression. Beaten, stabbed, and shot. 320 trans people killed in 2023. And people were like, oh, we don't teach it. We don't teach violence. We didn't tell you exactly. We just implied that you should murder and that they should all die and that we should all send them away and that we should all kill them. But we didn't tell you to do it. But when you did kill someone, when you did beat the shit out of them, we gave you love, attention, and affection. And we said, good job, good job. We said, oh, yeah, like, and the parents would get, like, oh, they taught hate, and they talked always talking about how they hated trans people and gay people, and then their student beat the shit out of her or killed someone at school, and they got a complaint from the school about them beating up another student. They'd be talking to them and be like, hey, I got a call from school and everything about you bullying someone, And I taught you that, obviously, but, like, you're gonna say, I didn't teach you that, and that's not okay to hit people. But they'll be like, good job, high five, man. And they're not, obviously, it's not gonna be one person, and obviously it sounded like they identified as male. So, before the non-binary person, so obviously, yeah, we are not the threat. Oh, look, more than 300 trans people killed in 2023. Hundreds of transgender people are murdered each year. Every town data on transgender homicide reveals concentration. In 2023, there are 35 homicides of transgender or gender expansive people. 80% were with a gun. Black trans women face the bulk of it. At least 33 transgender and gender non-conforming people were killed. Yep. Trans deaths in the U.S. on the rise and increased anti-trans laws. LGBT Plus group says 33 people slain in the past year. Whereas the trans people in 2020 tragedy equality, according to National, 23 of the victims were transgender women, 4 were transgender men, and 1 was non-binary. At least 33 trans people killed in the U.S. in the past 12 months, and a record for anti-trans. This is me not even clicking in articles, it's just reading you off what I googled. Freedom from fear of hate-filled violence, preventing transgender people and gun violence issues. In 2023 alone, there were 35 homicides of transgender. Remember, reports honors 47 trans people lost in violence. That was in 2022. Epidemic of violence targets transgender community with at least 33 deaths cited. Yeah, we are not the problem. We have never been the problem. We have always been the victims. And yeah, now especially since people, since the Me Too movement and everything, and people being like, oh, hey, let's actually believe women when say someone, touched them. And they weren't supposed to. And then apparently a lot of people are complaining about it now because people are taking too far and they're just abusing that. So, yeah, now, and, they're like, oh, you just want to transition everything so you're not, your, risk of being raped is lowered or whatever. Yeah, 100% not true. So, the fact that I identify as gay, or even if you were if you were cis, but you identified as gay or bisexual, your increase of, and even if you're white, your increase of being raped, is up pretty high. It's about equal or now a little bit higher than women because they'll be like, oh, they won't believe you and you won't be able to report it. Especially if it's, date rape, then they'll be like, oh, they don't believe you and they won't believe you because they're like, you like men, so you couldn't have been raped and stuff like that. And then, it's higher for lesbian women are more likely to be raped than, straight cis women. Because they're always like, oh, I can change you and crap like that. And also for violence against men and everything like that. And in most cases, in always cases of violence, it's encouraged and people agree with you. There's always going to be people who support and agree and say congratulations, good job, and pat you on the back and the shoulder. And whenever, usually guys, almost always with guys, if they're always, in a group, and especially, in the case of, probably that situation when the guy's bathroom, it's not going to be one guy, it's not going to be one student, it's going to be a group of people, especially if it's guys, and they're picking on another guy, because they're like, oh, you're still male, so they still see you as a little bit of a higher threat, even though they're like, you're second generation, you're like a woman and everything, because you like men, you're a little sissy, and you're super weak, but we still have to have a group of people, and people to back me up, to all sit by, and everyone sits by, and they let it happen, and no one reports it, and no one does anything about it, and they beat the shit out of you, and yeah, they did it as a group, there wasn't just one person hitting you, they had to attack you as a group. And they had to rape you as a group. And yeah, they're like, oh, but you want to be in a male's restroom with a gay guy, or in a changing room. Yeah, no, the gay guy doesn't want to be there and with you, because you have this mindset, and then you're gonna attack him, you're gonna rape him. Who's gonna fucking touch you? Exactly. The straight, religious, fuck white dude. That's who's gonna touch you. And then also, but I think I'm a little bit biased. More of just my understanding of it, I was like, I just think that, black gay men have less likelihood of being raped if they identify as gay. Mostly because they're more likely to hide it, because they're already going to be, like, beaten up and treated like shit just for being black. So, and also, it's not seen as a good thing, and they're seen as weaker, and they can then be open to attacks and be attacked by other black men and not just white people if they come out and other people know that they're gay. And then, obviously, black women have it harder and worse than white women. They're in more danger. And then, if you're trans and you're a trans woman, you're more likely to get raped than a white cis woman. And then, you're more likely, if you're black and trans, you're the most likely, and that was just supported by the reports I just read, you're more likely to be raped. And then, the fact that, oh, I'm trans, and I'm gay, yeah. Most likely going to be touched and raped, but I'm already terrified of people, so when would that happen? And Max is always willing to fight people and always prepared to run away 24/7, has to know where the exits are, and won't let anyone 2 feet close to me. Like, I don't come out to people, and I don't tell people anything. So, yeah. I am safe because I am paranoid and I'm terrified of everyone and I don't get close to people. That's the only reason why. But I am 100% more likely... Wait, I shouldn't say 100%. I am more likely to get raped than anyone, a cis gay man, and way more likely than a cis straight woman. Yeah. Because the real problem will be like, oh, a guy didn't do anything, like, at all, or it was, like, consensual sex and whatever, and the girl wants money, or she wants attention, or she just lying, and she wants to cause trouble, and so she'll, like, claim a guy, like, touched her or whatever, and get him in trouble, try and get sent into prison and crap like that. Yeah. And now let's bring more awareness and everything, and now guys are worried about that. So they're more likely to try to hurt someone who'd be like, oh, you're too scared, you won't report this, no one will ever believe you. Because that's how it was for women. So they could do whatever the hell they wanted to women, which also made everyone who is LGBT even more in danger, because you wouldn't even believe the women, so you're not going to even look. And you're not even look at the case, you would never, ever report it, or even write it down. An assault case or a rape case that involves someone who is gay, bisexual, or who wasn't cis. But, yeah. And, almost all the only cases that were ever followed through for rape and everything was when a white woman was wrongly accusing a black man. They're like, oh, in a few cases, there was actual evidence, and yeah, he was a bad man and he did something bad. But most of the time he wasn't, and he was probably a white guy. But they wouldn't take that in consideration, and they would never get him in trouble because he's white. So that's just how the world works. It's fucking shitty. And they're like, oh, but you don't teach that. You're like, oh, trying to be more inclusive in schools, and, like, you don't teach that. And they're like, oh, you're trying to convert them. You're trying to make everyone trans. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. Online, you don't see the negative, and you don't notice it because it's not popular. It's not new. It's not, like, something I want to bring up. They only ever talk about deaths of black people. They hide it for the rest of the year. Except only on Black History Month they ever talk about it, but it's still happening, and they also hide it, and they never talk about any of the trans community, the LGBT community being attacked. They never talk about that. It's not really in the news. They want to hide it. They never talk about it. It's never bring about. They don't talk about the radio. No one talks about it. Everyone hides the information. No one's going to bring it up. And they're always making themselves out to be the victim, always saying, oh my god, we're going to be attacked. When have you ever been attacked? And oh my god, there was that one case of them being attacked. Almost always the victim was also LGBT. And most of the time, even if they weren't, then very rarely the person was actually LGBT. They're probably just faking it and thinking they could get out of prison and get a lighter sentence because of it, which obviously didn't work. And they were still prosecuted, and they were still put in prison, and they're still found guilty. no matter what. So, if they did something, then they were obviously caught because you cried wolf, and you always cry in wolf when there's no danger at all. And the whole deal and the whole thing, I remember this video, they're being like, oh, we want to keep men, trans women who are really just saying that they're men. We want to keep them out of women-only spaces. We want to keep them out of the locker room. We want to keep them out of the women's-only shelter. We want to keep them out because of domestic abuse. Who the fuck's going to be the victim of the domestic abuse? Who's going to be raped and assaulted? The trans woman. They're going to be the ones that are assaulted. They're going to be the victims. They're the ones who were attacked. Fewer and fewer white cis people are being attacked because they're going to talk about it, they're going to bring it up, and they're going to try and stop that. But if it happens with anybody LGBT and they're not cis and they're not straight, then they're like, oh, it's okay, you deserve that. They're going to use all the excuses that was not okay and that they was used against the white cis woman. They're going to use all the excuses, say, oh, you asked for it, you deserved it. They're going to use all these lies. And they're like, oh, it's because you dress this way. All fucking lies. All absolute trash. All fake BS bullshit. And they were all, like, flipping out about the drag queens, like, talking to people in schools. I was like, they weren't even talking about anything, and they were just simply there reading a book. And if kids had questions, they just answered them. And they were just saying, like, hey, other people exist. There's other ways you can dress. People can wear makeup and dresses. Oh my god. It's not that big of a deal. Other people exist. And they didn't even teach anything else, and they should be being like, hey, yeah, other people exist, and it's not okay to target them. It's not something we should congratulate people. It's not something we should promote, not something we should teach. We wouldn't say people do good job for attacking other people. Oh my god, I didn't use the exact words to say go out and kill people. Oh my god, but when they did, you said good job, and you implied it? Wow. So shocked when they did it. So alarmed. All goddamn fake. So fucking fake. Everyone's so fucking fake. I don't believe anything. Yeah, I don't believe trash. They're like, they ruled it a suicide. I was like, probably because they agreed with and they didn't give a damn that the kids did. And the kids probably not going to any trouble for the fucking shit that they did. They're not going to go to juvie because they clearly, the teachers and none of them reported it. They didn't give a damn about it. They didn't do anything about it. They didn't care. They didn't care, and obviously other students, not just that group, other students obviously knew when they saw what was happening, and they didn't say anything, and they didn't do anything, and the teachers, they'd be like, oh, the teachers would have noticed, and they knew something's going on, but they didn't do anything either. They don't give a damn about you. You just have to protect yourself. And you can't protect yourself when you're that age, when you're in the high school and you're that age. You don't have anything. You don't have a way to protect yourself. You don't have any support. You don't have any friends. You don't have anyone to turn to. You have no way to save yourself and protect yourself. Just like an abusive household, you're not big enough. You're not strong enough to be able to fight back. You don't have enough money to go to the gym. You don't have enough time. You're just trying to avoid being hit all the time. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough energy to try and work out and build up muscles so you can fight back. And then, say you did fight back. Oh, now you're in trouble. Now you would get arrested. Now you would get in trouble. Now you get sent to juvie. Now you'd get kicked out of school. Now you get suspended. Now you get in trouble for bullying. When they did it, it was fine and acceptable, but, since you're LGBT, you're the bully, you're the malicious, you're not the victim anymore. Yeah. That's how it works, and I don't expect it to change. You'd hope it would, but it's always happened, and it's going to continue to happen. And my brain is like, the only solution is to just kill all the people who would try and kill you. Just try and teach the younger generation and bring more awareness and be like, hey, this is not fucking okay. This is not socially acceptable. This is not something we should promote. This is not something we should teach. Not something you can fucking do. Not something you should be able to get away with. You have to get in trouble for this shit. It's not okay to fucking hurt people because they're different. It's not okay to bully people because they're fucking different. Oh my god, they're different. So what? Fucking get over it. It's not a big deal. It has nothing to do with you. It's not your life. You don't have to be their friend. You don't have to fucking talk to them. You don't have to do anything. It's their goddamn life. It has nothing to do with you. And you have a problem with that. That's your fucking problem. It's not their problem. It's nothing to do with them. It's you. It's your fault. Your problem. You did this. You caused it. It's your fault. Oh, you're racist. You hate it. You blame black people. It's not the black person's fault. It's none of their fault. The black people don't have to feel guilty or mad about that. They shouldn't have to, and they don't need to correct it, and they don't have to act more innocent and make it known that they're not all criminals. They obviously aren't. You just believe that they are, and you're just a fucking asshole, and you're making them the problem, but they're not the problem. You are the problem. We need to get rid of the people who are the problem. We're going to keep making the problems, because we're not the problem. You are. You are the goddamn fucking problem, not me. I'm not the fucking problem. I'm just trying to live my life, and I'm trying to be fucking happy. And you're gonna try and fucking destroy it, because you fucking want to. Because you're a fucking asshole who only gives a damn about yourself. And that's exactly how it works. Okay. That should be everything on my rant. I kept talking about this for, like, days and everything, going on and on about it. But, yeah. Oh. There was this whole, like, thing with, like, eyes. They were talking about how, like, their eyelids, like, didn't move at all. And it's called, like, a certain condition. But, like, I can't move my eye, like, open my eyes without my eyebrows moving. And they'll pull up my eyelids. So my eyelids do move. But they have to move with my eyebrows and my forehead. Look at that. They're all scrunched up. So my eyes. And I just naturally have bigger eyes. Because there was this Asian man I kept watching. He was complaining about how he was always made fun of his Asian eyes and his eyes being so small and everything like that. And he's like, oh, his actual part of it was a medical condition. Part of it is, oh, I have smaller eyes naturally. And then the other part is just that my eyelids do not move. Because he'd go like this, but his eyelids don't actually move at all. They don't go up with it. And he was talking to some black guy who apparently had the same condition as him. I don't remember the name. I don't even remember if they said a name in the video. It was very short. And then he was talking about how he just, like, got surgery, so he's going to see if the results change anything. But yeah. Hey, that was a random comment and everything. For the longest time, I couldn't wink with one eye. I'd have to wink with both of them. You're like, that's not how it works. You're blinking. Yeah. Okay, so that was being random. Okay, I'm Charlie, trying to just de-stress. Bye.